Let's have a look at a couple of chains. They're both brand new, or as new as damn it. And one is a steel chain, which is this one. If we look on the cutters, you might just about be able to see there. It says steel C, and there's a 6 there on this one as well. And it's got these little dimples in it, which is typical of steel chain. It's also got these little pimples on here and this hole. That hole is lightning. These and these ways here are for oiling. Both of these are 3/8 picco chains. This is a brand new one out of the box, one I made earlier. And you can see here where the joiner link is. Well, it's been riveted up in an old-fashioned manual rivet spinner. This one here hasn't got any sign of that, so this is out of the factory, whichever factory it is, but there's no maker's name on this. I don't know where it came from. It just appeared in my workshop at the place where I work, and it's broken, and you can see that it's snapped through the oh, I can't remember what you call the damn things. And it's snapped through the cutter. So it snapped there and snapped all the way through there. And it's got damage here, and where it's come off, it's obviously come off under power. There's damage on some of these drive links. But all the drive links are nice and clean and shiny. And if you look elsewhere on the chain, you start to see other bits and bobs. So this one is missing the entire top of its cutter. See? Because it should look like that. It's a little bit blunt. And this one here's got a another issue with the cutter. It's broken all the way through. You can see the rivet there still intact, and it's lost the entire top of its cutter. Oops. So if you look at it laid out like this, and there's top of that cutter's missing. So that's also broken. If you look along here, that cutter there and that cutter there are next to each other, so that's a full comp chain, but there's a missing cutter there. So what's going on there? Is it, because that cutter and that cutter are the same way around, that this cutter here is entirely missing this bit, or is that just a duff job? So basically, this is why you don't buy cheapo chains. There's no maker's name on this. No one's been proud enough of their product to put their name to it. It's got these plain drive links rather than these ones with the oiling patterns in. That's an extra operation, and so is this. If you can cut down the number of operations, you can knock out more chains in the same amount of time and make more money. Also, if you look at the tie straps, that's what they call tie straps. And on this one, you've got less metal, and you've got these little indents, and there's not as much metal there. So if we find the one that's broken, where it's gone, right, it's right at the other end, of course it would be this one here. See where it's broken? Between there and there. So basically, don't buy cheap chains. You might think you're saving money, but you're not actually, because you spent the money on this chain and it's broken before it's even been sharpened for the first time. If you look in here, you can see from the profile of this that this is straight off the wheel in the factory. It's never been sharpened. It's relatively sharp still now, although it's taken a little bit of damage. You've got a depth limit here, which is what that line is. But you haven't got one on the outside here. They're all on the inside. If you turn it over, there it is, look. And you haven't got a wear limit on your chain. So, the other thing to think about is this is a 3/8 picco chain, as is this. This one is 55 links, and this is 50 links. This is for a 14-inch bar. Don't know what length bar that is for. So what I'm hoping happened is somebody came in to get a replacement chain for their own saw. They wanted a Homer. They wanted to save the money of buying another new chain. And they've gone away with a much better, safer chain for their top handle saw with a slightly longer bar than a 14-inch bar. And they've used a steel chain. Because this is set up probably for a top handled saw. And you can just imagine what the repercussions might be if it breaks like this when you're 30 foot up a tree and the thing starts to flap around right when you're doing your final felling cut, and it has to go right, otherwise things get a little bit fraught and your cheapo chain is broken. But not only is it broken there, it's broken there and in another 2 places along its length. So buying cheap chains is a false economy. Don't buy cheap chains. This firm always uses steel, and that's for product liability reasons. They could go for Rotatech, or they could go for an Oregon. But steel chains for steel saws is what they've decided to go for, and it seems to work. I hope that made sense.